not another recording. Oh, here he goes again. Let's get that in the right spot. There we go. Now, where are we? Down. Let's open up Chitubox 1.9.3, and I'll just delete this model and bring them all in. So I'm going to call this video, but I want to print everything all at once. Okay, let's see. I will open up. This is the Bahamut. I don't know how to say it. It's a dragon. A dragon. And I'm bringing everything in all at once. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to scale it, but I'm going to scale it later. So what I'm going to do to start with is do rotations and positioning of the model. Let's take that out to 90, minus 90. Type that in. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to push him over. I'm looking at the shadow that he casts on the floor, and I am going to grab this one and I'm going to put that in an orientation I'd like to print it at. So let's turn it over a bit. Let's turn it up there, I like all those points to face upwards if they can. It's not bad, so let's rotate it a bit more. This time rotate a little bit around this way. Yeah, that fits. You're probably asking by now, why the hell did he just tuck that between the legs? Well, because this method you can. Just go on.
Rotate that a bit different. I'll try that around with that end under the neck. Does it fit here? Can't measure his leg at the moment. What about there? A bit too close, isn't it? I want to just move it out a bit. And move this back a bit. Yep. Looks good around under the neck, but it's still whacking into the back of his leg there. I might be able to rotate it and get it to go into the back. So let's just put... Okay, so this one here, I'm going to just swing him about and see if it comes away from that leg. Oh, wrong one. Rotate. No, wait. Move it. Move it. Move it.
That'll do. Now put his head over here. That head is going to print better upside down, I think. Rotate him upside down. That way. Swing him about so we can see him. He's going to print better upside down because of all these teeth and all of these whiskers. So the head, if I tip a little bit backwards maybe. A little bit more like that. Yep, that'll do. I'll bring him over here a bit more. How are we looking? Good. We're looking good. Now, these wings are going to be the biggest issue. So let's put them over onto the plate. Get in front of it. Let's rotate that wing so that it comes up. Almost directly up with the thing sweeping back a bit. That's quite nice. Now
how will that fit? I think I need to rotate around a little and then look from the front and then go back up again. Something like that. Alright, now this one here, do similar. I'll bring it over to the plate just so I can compare them. Do rotate up, looking from the top, and rotate around. Okay, and looking from the front, we're going to rotate so that it's more upright. Okay, that's good. Now let's see how they fit. put that into the plate there, what's it look like from this side? Not great. What about if I bring it across here more and in more? Oh, that's got some clearance.
Bring it in even more. Okay, just touching now, but that's okay. Let's rotate. Got that. So the philosophy in this is to get it all fitting in to such a point that, come on, rotate, so that I can save them all as a single model, and when I bring them back in, what happens to a single model is it auto supports all over and misses each other and doesn't spear all the parts. So I've now got that wing sitting in an approximate sort of place I want it. Let's see if I can get this one
into this other corner without it being an issue. So if I look straight from the top by clicking over there, I can position from the top, and I've got two different views. One view is this, this is like an angular view, doesn't show the true position. I'll use the other one, it shows a better position. So I'll pop it over here, and now I want to rotate that yeah, to about there. I'm going to have a look at how we're doing on the sides. Looking good on the sides, looking good on the front, looking good around the top of the head. I might rotate it a little bit more, and then tuck it in a bit more. Rotate it a little bit more. Prop it, I'll rotate it from this position. I'm going to pitch it up a little bit more. So what I'm doing here is getting one wing to sit outside of the other wing, if that makes sense. So they do overlap a little. So I'm looking from, they overlap a little, but they're sitting in a sort of a logical position. So if I just shift that one across, grab that one, it can drop down and it can twist. Drop it down a little. Yep, and from here, looking from the top, I should be able to rotate it a bit to that one. Oh, that's interfering. Oh, look at that, they're meshing to each other like that. Oh, they
miss each other. Okay. I've got the tail jammed up inside there at the moment, so I'll move this one. Yeah. And I'll move this one. Yeah. And let's look from the top. What do we got? Now I'm just using it down in the corner to give me an idea that it'll sort of fit inside that grid, because in a minute I'm going to scale the whole thing all at once. So if I just check through here and see that it's all missing. Yep, it's all missing. So if I go select all over here and then I go scale to fit, the entire model snaps to fit within the build work plate. So if I look from the top now, about as big as I can go, I reckon. Within that build plate. I can actually spread them out a little bit more looking at that scaling. I can deselect that. I can move this one out a little, this one out a little. When I do that, I can go down a little as well. Still not hitting. This one I can rotate a little. Oh, wrong way. I want the blue one. Or do I? Just it's missing everywhere. Yeah, it's missing. That'll do. Okay, select all. Scale the fit. Made it bigger. Look at that. Okay. All right. Now what I do, I would probably hollow these out as individual pieces. They're in the position I want, so I'll hollow them out as individual pieces. Select only that one, select that one, and hollow. I want about a 2.5 half mil, 2.7, that'll do. Precision, not super. Hollow, process animated, inner, outer. I want inner. Let's do that. So that's
just going to do that one. Yep. Just watch that going. Looks good. Now let's do the other wing. Oh, we might do the tail at the same time, so let's shift and click. No, sorry, let's control and click those two. Hollow, start. So it's showing everything, but it's only processing these other two. Show me the tail. Hollow tail. Should be able to save on a bit of resin doing that, but it makes it a bit more complicated to support. Now I won't hollow the face, but I will hollow the body. Start. Looked a bit fishy in that wing section there, where it joins. Double check that. Okay, that looks good. Now, here's the tail sitting. Here's a bit close to the feet. That might fuse. I'll just tweak that along a little. Yep, that's better. Okay, so now I am going to select all, and I will go. Hey, what happened? Why are you sitting there like that? Did you move on me? So I'm going to just deselect all and move this one back. Wait, where were you though? You're somewhere over here. Let's have a look from the top. A little bit more.
okay. Select all. So I'm going to, sorry, not open file. I'm going to save the project into my desktop as Baphomet. Just call it that. That'll do. As a Chitubox file. Yep. Now I am going to. Sorry. I'm going to. Where are we? Save the project. All models. Now this is going to create. Oh, hang on, that's not right. Save the. It's not save project. Save selected models. Save as all models. Save as STL. Baphomet STL. Good. Okay, so now I should be able to delete everything. So they're all gone, and now I should be able to go in and open up only that new model, Baphomet. This is an STL that I'm bringing in right now. So that is a single STL. If you look up here, it's just a single STL. So if I now jump into my supports, and I don't really want a raft on this thing, so let's turn that off. None. Okay, so I'm going to go mediums. I'll just flick through and make sure my rafts aren't turned on for anything else. My next step, I've hollowed. I need to put holes in. Okay, so I'll go from this side up. I need to put vent holes, and the most important vent holes are where the void first starts. So I'll go back into this one here. Go back vent hole. Do I want a little bit more. I'll go 3 mil vent holes at the start, and I don't want to keep the hole. I want to dig continuous. I'll go add hole. So I want one here, here, here. They are flat. They're not flat on the build plate. No, they're going to be up on supports. So if they're facing flat to a build plate, they'll create a vacuum because they're locked by land, if that makes sense. The hole is facing a hard plate instead of going out to air, and I need it to go out to air to allow it to equalize. So the face doesn't have any more issues. I'll just pop another one in there, and just as a bit more drainage. So I've put one in each foot. The tail starts at about here, and so I want a hole in that as well, but I don't really want a big hole, so I'll just put a little one, and I'll put a little one further up. Okay, so this new section here, see how that's got a wall in between? That means that this is starting as a little suction cup, so it needs its own vent hole. Did I do the base here? No, I didn't do that bit already. Let's do the base of the tail. Because I've got it set to 1.5, I'll just put several of them. Okay, that tail grows nice. The tail grows in two sections, so over here the tail starts again, so I've got to put a hole over here as well. About this spot here, I'll put it, it's pretty small at this point, it's only a couple of mil wide, so that went through. I'll put a couple in there. Come on, you know you want to, just for me. So if I change this up here to as the screen, it'll put a hole in directly facing straight downwards according to my screen. It makes a liar of me now, doesn't it? Come on, you want to. There's something not right here. Let's have a look. Size, my depth is probably too shallow. Let's go longer. Try that. Boom, right through. Okay. I've got two holes down there, that's okay. I've got one hole right near the bottom. These few little messy bits, not too worried about it. Okay, so let's go and look at new islands forming with a suction cup. So we got that one. So the next one might be the belly of the beast. Yep, there it is, starting as a new island. That's a bad suction cup, that would really pull it up. That sort of started as 3 there. 1, 2, 3 into existence. This one's the outside, that's where it joins. There's no wall on that one. This is where the wings join in. Just watching that closing off at the top there. Okay, so that's building the roof, the internal roof. That needs to be supported from the underneath. Up here we've got a new island starting in these little fins. A new void starting in the little pins. So I'll just pop. That's actually the wrong way around. I want it to face downwards on the model, don't I? So I'll pop it in that way. Come on. Yes, do it, do it. Go by the model. Did it. This one over here. Did it. Let's have a look. There's a little bit just here, but it's not, it joins very soon, so it's not an issue. It's not exactly joined, but I'm not too worried. I think that won't be a problem. Okay. Was there anything in that neck section? Does it have a chin? No chin. Okay, that's good. So that's all my holes. Now we go over to the out with that, in with that. Let's go and support the model. Now I want to set mediums, and I want to have a look on the top here. I'm going to use my little spherical connection with a contact diameter and a contact depth halfway, and I'm going going to use my upper diameter. I'll make that 0.6 at the snap off point. So that's like a sphere half buried into the job. Then there's this little connector on the end of it, lower diameter 1.5. Let's see what the main diameter is, 1.5. I'll make that 2. Okay, in the main diameter, just a bit stronger. Now down here is my distances and my crossovers. So I'm actually quite wide here. So when I do the auto support, I'll just give it a try. So I am going to go plus all, which will put supports inside the model and outside the model. So let's give that a go. Whoa, that density is insane. Okay, I need to change that density. So let's go back. Let's reject that one. Remove all. Yes. I need to change this density down. Let's try 40. Okay. Plus all. That's a little better. Little better. Could be better again. Yeah, let's go 30. Yep, remove all. Yes, let's remove all and go plus all. Now I'd rather add some extra heavy supports than flood the thing with mediums. So that's basically what I'm doing here. Now because I'm flat footing this model, I'm going to have to put a lot under the feet of that main body. Let's drop it even further. Remove all. Yep. And then go plus all. That'll do. That'll do. Now I'm going to go heavies, and I have got on the top I've got spheres. I've got 2 mil. This is quite big, so it's a 2 mil diameter ball, contact point quite deep. The upper diameter, which is the connection point that snaps off, I'll set that maybe 1.3, 5 millimeters depth. That might not fit in under this little bit that I'm going to do first, so I'll just reduce that to 3 mil, and then I'll step it back up again. So here I want to put some whacking great heavy supports in the first sections that build. Let me put it in there. Look at that. It must be too flat in that area. So if I'd reduce that even more, now it'll let me put it a bit closer. Yeah, it's doing it. It's just not showing it to me. Because these feet are flat, they need quite a lot of coverage to stop the sagging. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Show you that these don't spear the model. I'll have a look in a second. It's got the flat foot, and we want to start in here quite heavy, and here it starts again with a new island. I'm just watching those little the black lines running across the red. So as it joins this bit to this bit, I'd like to put one just in there too, just so it wells. And over here this one starts in this corner. Starts again over in there. How's that work? There's the connection there. Okay. And this one starts here and here. Some heavies, some lights. And that goes a long way before it gets any more. So I'm going to put some here. And is this one doing the same? It's going a long way up without any support. I'll put some on the inside. It'll let me. Okay, now let's have a look. I should be able to zoom in now and not see anything spear. Show me like this. Yeah. So if you have a look, I'm sorry, I get a bit googly-eyed here, but see how these supports reach up, but they actually don't spear straight through that tail. So that's being missed, and that's because the whole thing is set as a single model. Like even down here in the toes, if I look down, I'll just scroll that down to get right down to the toes area. It's whacked them through the middle of the toes without spearing it. So that's put supports under the feet, and then it's put it in between the toes to get to the next layer. And the structure that it builds, looking from the top, is fully joined. They're not little sort of ladders. They're structures that are connected to each other by all these sort of triangles and stuff, but they don't shrink the whole model and make it act like a single unit and peel off the build plate from the resin shrinking. So got a fair chance of getting it out. So I've done some heavies there, and my next stage would be to go through from below and to comb any new islands that begin. So let's have a look from the bottom, and let's just go the opposite way to see new islands as they start. So there's a new island right there that needs help. I'm going to whack a heavy or two in there, and there. Let's zoom up a little, and oh, that's the face over there. He needs a bit more. Big ones. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that one I've already done heavies. This one's got some heavies. I'm going to put a heavy here, because I know that those wings grow a fair bit. And okay, I'm just looking for anything that blinks into existence. See right there. I need heavy, heavy, heavy. I don't put them all in a straight line because that's not as stable. It's built into a scaffold. So then it blinks into existence. Blinks into existence over here as well. Yep, so keep going. So it starts here, and it starts over here. So all these extra supports that I'm throwing in are also missing the previous parts, because this is all one model. It won't just slam into the wall of the model. Now here's the tail where it starts to connect, and where two arches meet, it actually has a really big challenge, because right up until this point, I'll just show you, right up until this point right here, there's massive sideway forces when it peels, and they're not connected, so they need stability all through that arch section. So the stabilizing of that is more to push those two apart and line them up to each other. So right at the actual connection, I build a stronger structure. I'll spin it around just to show you what that looks like from, I've lost my view here. Okay, so let's get around. How do I see that the best? Oh, it's not going to let us, is it? So basically I'm building a scaffold. If I was on the Pro one, I'd show it to you, but we're building more of a scaffold through this center section so it aligns and joins properly. Lots of other parts, like right up these sort of spikes and stuff, not so bad. So I'm looking at the red tips, and here's some red tips right up here, so let's put some heavies there just to stabilize them, and that's because they're the start of the build. And over here a little bit, over here like a little claw, not craw. Okay, now let's look at his whiskers up in here. Now these ones I'll go for a light. I'm just going to add light. I know I've got here upper diameter 0.5, no, I want 0.3 for that, and the middle is going to be 1 millimeter diameter. Let's do that. So light, 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 light. And at 0.3 diameter, these are almost like hairs, so they snap off quite easily and don't leave faults. And the other area that's going to have that problem is the mouth, because it has teeth that blink into existence. So how do we see that one? Let's have a look. And it is auto-generating a heap of these little supports on all the teeth. I don't like them. I'm going to change them, so I'm going to go minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to delete, and now I'm going to go medium on one of the teeth, medium plus, not platform, cancel, medium plus, one of the teeth. I'm going to turn off that sphere, none, and I'm going to change that upper diameter to 0.4 and make it long. Now I want, if I can, I want it to come all the way from the platform, because that's a more maneuverable support. See if that'll do it. We'll try that. Okay, so now what I do, I go into modify, double click, and now I can put that on another tooth. Alright, and I should be able to, I can't move it because of that. Okay, so I'll escape, I'll put a light just on this one here. No, doesn't want it, plus it, a light there. Yeah, okay. Now, let's edit this. Put it on the other teeth. Escape. Double click this one. Put that on the other tooth as well. Now batch edit, so I can go control and touch the one that I want. I'll have that, that. And I'll go over to batch edit and I can drop the diameter and I can drop the size of it. So now we've got fine pieces holding the teeth. That's what I want. And these two teeth, are they done? Modify. So here's the bit where I would add the raft to the model. So I've done all of my supports already. Running down, just moving down. If you have a look, there's supports internal and external as it goes. The internal supports are holding the roof up as it goes. I let's have a look. So those internal supports are all up inside there holding that roof as it goes. And I am ready now to put the raft into the job. So for that I'm going to go back into this section and get it to the right spot, and then I'll go open and I select my raft, which is the 1.5 dud raft. Open, and that is preformed to allow gaps for the resin to not build into the build plate. Now for that I need to just select the raft and then come over here to position or move and center it. So when I do that I end up with the raft in the right spot, but at the moment all of my supports are sitting dead flat onto the build plate. So what I've got to do now is go back and pick the main model and lift that up by an extra 1.5 millimeters. So it's at 5, I'll take that up to 6.5, and now when I look underneath I should see that those supports are sitting on top of the build plate, and the build plate is looking green, baby. So if I look from the front I should see that they are all sitting in there. Oh, I did have some rafts still, some skates still happening, but I'm not too worried about that. They're just sitting on top of the raft, they won't be in a problem. How is it looking? Pretty good. Pretty good. Now this is a pretty low poly part, so that's why you're seeing all of those triangles. It's not really suited for this printer, but it's a good model for working with. Okay, now that would be ready to slice and print.